Dublin City is changing and people are mad about it. We do have opinions about it, so we thought today we'll share our opinions through 3 stories about how Dublin is changing. So the first story is the Poolbeg Chimneys. You'll have seen them in our videos if you've watched them before. You've probably seen them if you've seen artwork of Dublin at all. They are definitely one of the unofficial landmarks of the city. But actually, they used to be quite controversial. People used to hate them, would think they're ugly. Some people maybe still think that now. We'll have a discussion in a bit. But now they're definitely a quite beloved landmark of the city. In 2010, when the power station, they were supposed to be decommissioned, there was a public outcry to try and save them and preserve them there. So they're actually no longer functional. They're just there aesthetically because people didn't want to let them go.
And I agree with not letting them go. It's only because I've gotten so accustomed to them. There's, in this flat we're in right now, there's even default artwork of it on the walls. I've seen it on t-shirts, on mugs.
The Christmas cards we sent to our families had them in there. They probably had no clue what those 2 sticks in the 3D canal were, but they're there. There's even incense holders apparently dressed up like the Poolbeg Chimneys, which is actually quite clever if you think about it.
Yeah, and besides all that, Dublin, especially when we came, was a flat city. Some of the tallest buildings that exist right now weren't there when we came. And it was just interesting to have this, tall structure. I think in our old place, I know in our old place, we would wake up in the morning and see them. I keep calling them towers, but they're not towers, they're chimneys. Yeah, and we would see them there off in the distance. Sometimes they'd be covered by, clouds or fog or so on, like that. Yeah, we always be like, ooh, look, there they are, especially in summer when it's kind of bright.
Or for the sunrise. So just to put this into context, at that time we were living in Dublin 8 and we could see the tops of the chimneys all the way from there and the sea rise over the sea, and we were just so used to seeing them all the time because before we lived close to Clontarf, so we'd be walking along the promenade all the time, which of course has the main feature of getting to look at the Poolbeg Chimneys.
And I just love that it's basically a landmark that you can see from, that east side of the city. I've never been on the ferry before, but I wonder what it would look like just coming into the port and seeing that on the horizon.
So what do you think they look like? And yes, I'm setting you up because you called them ugly earlier and I'm still offended by that.
They started to look rusty now. I'm just saying. All of the artwork has them as, beautiful, pristine, well painted. But it was a while since I saw them, fairly up close. And I was like, I think it was on Bull Island, and I was like, yeah, those are looking a bit rusty now. And, well, I guess they could do something about it, but it's pretty expensive, you say?
Yeah, the upkeep, so they're actually discussing how to maintain them because they weren't built to last this long. No one anticipated the city would be like, no, but I like my tall sticks in the landscape, please keep them even if they're no longer functional. So they're actually trying to figure out how to preserve them, which I was really sad about, learning that they might have to do something to them to preserve them that could change how they look. Because in my heart they'll always look the same way they did when we first arrived and walked by them, or seen them somewhere in the cityscape a million times. Our next story is O'Connell Street, which hasn't changed that much since we arrived, but it has changed a lot in the last 100 years, and people also have a lot of opinions about that. So I actually tried to look up the history of O'Connell Street, which also had a lot of other names before, but the most recent changes that those people also seem to be referring to is that, in the 50s, 60s, 70s, they seem to be replacing a lot of what was there, like cinemas or lounges, or I guess wherever you hung out back in the day, got replaced with a lot more shopping and McDonald's, more fast food, instead of you go there to sit down and enjoy yourself, meet up with friends, and that seems to have been one of the major changes. The other very obvious big change is the Spire, which was introduced in the 2000s and is very hard to miss since it's just literally, have you heard it being referred to as stiletto in the ghetto, just there
Yes,
in the middle of a common
loved
street.
that name because we weren't here for long and we went on a tour, a bus tour, and they were like, here, we're passing by this thing, and Stiletto in the Ghetto is the main thing that stuck out. I don't know why, it was just the Stiletto. I can't remember the other names, but for me, whenever I see it, I remember that tour guide lady, the Stiletto in the Ghetto. Yeah, but seriously, I think this is a thing that people are still divided on. And you can't see why. It's a needle pointing up in the middle of the city. I would call it, it looks like an overly thin Christmas tree. But, that's it. One of those very narrow Christmas trees that are really on... It's like the road didn't have enough space, so we're like, what can we put here? And it's like, I know, a narrow Christmas tree. They only call it a narrow Christmas tree because of the light at the top, which I know it's there. I don't think I've ever actually gone late enough to go see it, or maybe probably looked up. Probably not just that observant.
So we just, before in the last story, talked about how much we love the chimneys and how tall they are and how nice it is that they can be seen from everywhere. And you could technically say the same things about the Spire, but somehow it's just not built up the same emotional attachment. You also don't really see it all that much in artwork either. Like, you almost forget it's there. Like, it's convenient, a great place to meet other people. If you're trying to meet someone on Connell Street, you just like meet by the Spire. But it's just, it lacks a bit of identity other than being a stick for myself. Like, the bottom of it, like, not to offend anyone, but is the paint supposed to look, is it part of the art piece, or does it look like the paint is coming off? Because it's been looking like that to me for years. No
I
offense.
didn't build it, I can't tell you.
Like, it is an improvement from Nelson's column, which was there and blown up in the 60s. Like, definitely better than any colonial kind of imagery than that, but like, let us know in the comments, what would you like to go there? Maybe also if trying to fit it in a major road with lots of public transport and people crossing wasn't the issue.
For me, I like it most when you kind of have the light show, kind of St. Patrick's, which is coming up, and it's illuminated, it's metal, so it gets a bit of that sheen and glow, from it. So it's like, okay, let's mark an art piece, something's there, it's like green, it's blue, it's whatever. Yeah, I kind of see it as that, but other than that, yeah, I do like verticality in my cities, but I feel like it ain't the star of the show. It's not the star of the show at all.
Especially with Cheap BO next door, which also gets illuminated with light shows, like for the winter lights, and has a lot more surface to actually tell a story with the lights.
Yeah, I think the Spire is definitely like an accessory. The rest of the buildings and everything else kind of needs to be built around it, just so you have this juxtaposition that there's this thing here. If I had to go with it, this is kind of a design talk, but sometimes they talk about laying out shelves. The one is like, oh geez, there he goes. You like laying out shelves, and you kind of have this thing of thirds where you're trying to have stuff at different heights. That's what the Spire is to me. Yes, and for the final story, you made it to the one we don't agree on.
We'll see if this is the first time we have a proper argument.
Go on, tell the good people.
So a third story is the St. Stephen's Green shopping centre. Now, I was hugely shocked when I realised it's not been there all that long. It was literally only completed in 1988. It's made to look kind of Art Deco-y, so you'd assume it's older, but it's actually not. So before, there was the Dandelion Market, which was really important to the youth culture of the city. Like, U2 had some of the first concerts there, and people were really outraged when that got replaced with St. Stephen's Green shopping centre. So it's kind of funny, in a way, history repeating itself, because I'm definitely team offended that it's getting replaced now. So I don't understand, for whatever reason they decided it needs to be completely demolished and completely changed from scratch into something entirely different, but still be a shopping centre.
Yeah, this is where I'll jump in, because, okay, so, before the Furious Typhus starts, since I'm obviously on the other team, yeah, I am more a fan of I think it was the first render of what it should look like, more than the current render of what it will be pending it, actually gets built like it shows in that render. Because for me, I was a bit more sympathetic until I realized that it's not as old as I thought it would be. Now, the thing is that I like the first design, where you can still see the homage to it. Sure, it's up higher and stuff, but the main thing from the outsides I like is that kind of, I guess it has this kind of garden look, and they were still trying to go with a kind of garden look from the outside that was more updated. The one that they're currently picking, yeah, it is a bunch of sheets of glass. It is not really inspiring, and
it looks like an office block. Like, apart from the whole thing that I don't understand why they need to replace it in the first place when it looks perfectly pretty the way it is. But other than that, the new design, it just looks like another office block. Like, honestly, I'd almost walk past and not even realize it's a shopping centre. I just assume it's another office block and not even try and go there.
But the ground floor from the renderings do look like it has like a higher roof and an open kind of space. If this is kind of like I can't remember the word.
The new shop, which the old shopping centre also has. If you've ever been in there, they kept actually the sort of market vibe.
Yeah, but it's not like open. Like this one is high up and it looks like, oh, you can peer down and be like, oh, what is that?
You can do that as well in the current version. You walk around and you can peer down everywhere. You can look up. You've got the beautiful skylights.
Peer through. Like if I'm outside, I can be like, oh, currently, what are those escalators? I wonder what's in there. But if they
you have to go in, find out, go on an adventure.
But if they do it like a higher roof top, and I can be like, oh, it's like a space that you can like walk through. I don't know if it's like that, but that's what the rendering impression gives me. If it's like that higher roofs and I can see more of the food places at the front, I'm like, yeah, that's where I go. I hardly go in this place, by the way. I see it there and I go there. You've been in there. It's more attractive to you. The only thing that's attractive to me with
like,
it...
I'll admit there is actually not that much to attract you necessarily towards it, unless you need the bathrooms and you're in the area. But that aside, the current food court area is relatively small, but what I do love is that it has kind of a shared seating area from which you can look down onto the street, and that's just such a fantastic view. And yes, they could probably do that in the new version as well. But it looks really nice when you're sitting there and everything's framed kind of with the green of the building itself, and it's just also nice to look at when you're in St. Stephen's Green itself or walking down the road towards it and just walk by coming from Grafton Street and you just see this nice pretty building.
Yeah, I can agree. I went there, had lunch with someone there before, but yes, I do like the interior of it. The thing is that this new renders is showing you the outside. Where I give my stamp of approval or not is what the inside looks like. If it looks like some generic, as you're saying, it's given office space, then, thumbs down. But if they somehow, the interior of it kind of really harkens to that old design, then I can get on board with it. I can get on board with it. For me, it's kind of like Vienna, where I know people love Vienna's architecture, but for me, honestly, the buildings outside be looking plain. They're all white buildings, things, they're not too amazing, but for me, it's when you go inside. When you go inside, it's like, oh, this is what you've been hiding. This is what I was like. Okay, fine, the details and so on like that. So I'm trying to give it the benefit of the doubt, but honestly, for me, the second render looks like there was some serious cost cutting, or someone's like, oh, I need to redo this again. Let me throw a couple of things together and see if it gets accepted. And since it is, well, people have no taste, but I do think, hey, I say the design has no taste. I have no problem with removing the old one and putting a new one. That's what this is about. I don't like the second render. The first one gets a pass from me, but it's not that old. It's not that
Why
old.
does it have to be old to be preserved? It looks nice.
It's like, come on. It's the same Commerce designed it to be like that. Commerce is going to design it to be whatever it needs to be. Thought it was something more historic,
but it's like,
etc.
right now at least it sets it apart from other shopping centres. Like, I'll admit there isn't that many shops in there, which is one of the reasons I guess they kind of want a new one to put more shops in there. But like, Grafton Street's already there's enough shops in the area. Like, it's more interesting to go in and I guess they don't get money off me looking at the flower displays and being like, oh, this looks nice. Now I go get one cup of tea and sit in the seating area and enjoy the view of St. Stephen's Green. Like, fine, I get it. That's not a business model. Exactly. But it just, like, it's pretty the way it is, and like it makes a difference from any other shopping centres in town.
That I can agree with, because I think one of the beautiful things about walking down any street is that if you're walking down a street and you can kind of see something in the distance that's kind of like beautiful, grand looking, it encourages you to continue to walk down the street to go to, which is why I think that's, Grafton Street's a great street, because at the end of it, it opens up to, the mall, which I admit, I like the design. I like the design. I'm just not going to stand in the way of people trying to update it, since it's a commercial property. And then there's the park. Hot take, it'll be even more fantastic if they ever build a metro there, and I have a metro station too. But no,
We'll take the Lewis for now.
Yes. So yeah, there isn't any. We're not agreeing on this one, so there isn't any like, oh, that's it. But I think we can come to a summary. She's on that side, I'm on this side. Take it away.
Yeah. In conclusion, I guess what I've learned from these 3 stories is that, in a weird way, just by living here, I have gotten emotionally attached a bit to some of the buildings, or taking on some of the locals' feelings to the buildings. I don't know if other people feel as strongly about St. Stephen's Green Shopping Centre as I do. That's just a me thing. I will admit, maybe I also like it a bit because it does in some ways remind me of Vienna, of the sort of like butterfly house kind of style, or I guess just the Art Deco-ness looks very familiar to my eyes.
Is it Art Deco or Art Nouveau? I'm not sure.
I think it's Art. No, I don't actually know anything about architecture, I just have opinions. So I don't know if that's also actually because I'm just used to seeing that sort of design that I got more attached to it. But it's kind of interesting how the longer you live in a place, you do like the way it looks, and you can become just as opinionated as the locals and not wanting to change.
Yes, and for me, I'm like, I would agree with almost anything else, but it's a shopping mall. Shopping malls get redesigned all the time. It's kind of, if it was something else, but it's a shopping mall. I'm not standing up for somebody trying to change a shopping mall. Shopping malls aren't my favourite place in the meanwhile, but yes, they could put some effort and make it pretty, but I know at the end of the day, they're just like, I want people to come in here and buy stuff, so that's it. Sorry, the wine just informed me that I was still talking about the last story and not all 3.
It's still not over it.
So, summary for everything. Yes, I'm more on the side that I understand cities can change. I think that they should modernize it, but still pay homage to the past. Don't fully, destroy anything like that. Just remind us of its origins. When I look at something, I want to think about, hey, what was this inspired by? What was here before? I want to get the similar feeling, even though it may not actually look the same.
For example, like St. Stephen's Green Shopping Centre. That is made to look, that always presumed had like a market there before, was a former market hall, because of the way it is designed.
Yes, I'm going to end this video now. This is never going to end. Thank you all for tuning in. You forgot we're wine and rum. We talk about what's it like living here in Ireland. Among other things, like discussing architecture now, apparently. Well, that's it for now. That side was not for y'all not want to subscribe, should subscribe. I can get some food now. Discussing this has made me hungry.
See you next time.
Bis später. If you'd like to hear us talk more about Dublin City, check out this video here, where we look at this virtual map and discuss some of the crazy uncensored tags on it.